Set.
Hello and welcome to episode 77 of the Football Retro Podcast. I'm your host, Johnny, and today, once again, no Darcy, so we've got Akram and Fadi. How you
Once
doing,
again.
guys?
Well, yeah, no, it's unfortunate, man. It's really disappointing. Seems like I think the Statman's retired. I don't think he really wants to be part of this
Darcy will be missed.
group anymore.
We'll see you in the next life.
He's a Statman.
Well, mate, unfortunately, I think part of the reason why he is leaving Football Retro is in no small part because of Fatty. Sorry, mate, you just had too much for him.
Pretty sure that the drama was you and him.
The drama's been him.
The Real Madrid duo.
The
Yeah, but they're on the opposite ends of the spectrum, so it's a bit of a polarizing thing.
Now you're talking politics.
No, I didn't say anything. You said it.
Anyways, so it's been a couple of weeks since we've been together. A lot has happened in the European leagues in regards to games, bit of controversy, a bit of big upsets results. We're just talking about Udinese and Roma this morning.
yeah, absolutely. It was really surprising 4-0 result for Udinese.
Yeah.
Were you surprised with AC Milan getting into a good game?
I wasn't surprised, but man, that was a fantastic game. Rafael Lau showing that why he's quickly becoming a top player to watch out for, and just exciting. Like every weekend's been great. Like I was thinking to myself the other day, like my two little girls are finally healthy. Seems like they've been sick every week for the last 3.5 months, and the last few weeks just been all football all weekend, mate.
Yeah, it's good.
Premier League,
It's good.
Serie A,
Yeah,
La
everything-
Liga,
all the
everything's been great.
leagues are in full swing, so it's very exciting. There's constant football going on, and just the way we like it. Plenty of early games as well.
I was going to say in Australia, 9:30 kickoffs for Premier League is
Yeah,
actually really
fantastic.
good.
That's a perfect time because it's enough time to hang out and have a few drinks and whatnot. And it's not
Grab
not
some dinner,
ridiculous, yeah.
absolutely.
It's
And the results have been really exciting. And I think it's hard to predict. It might be easier to predict in the Premier League who's going to, hit number one necessarily. Everyone can tell who's probably the best club in Premier League right now, but second, third, fourth, it's a little harder to tell. And then Serie A is complete open field. La Liga, of course, is as always
Top two
top two.
decided already.
Well, top two, top one is what I can consider.
yeah,
I
fairly
want
much.
to
Can't say I've been following that much.
I want to jump to something that pretty sure we all said, especially you, Ak. A couple of predictions. The episode about predictions.
Yep.
Let's talk about Premier League. Haaland's going to fall, fail, drop, flop.
Still early.
It's still early, but
So
5 games in, he's going to be at 76 goals.
Yeah, but you've scored against fucking.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who
No.
scored against. It's the Premier League.
See, this is what I was always afraid of happening. Listen to this guy. Haaland was going to never fail and flop completely. He's too physically talented. He's a gifted player. He's a good player. But he's not fucking, the next coming of, Ronaldo. He's not.
No,
Okay, let me ask you
I
something.
didn't say
Let me
that.
ask you something.
Sorry, but
Let him ask you something. Let him ask you.
If for 3 seasons in a row, Haaland scores 25 goals in the Premier League, okay, but he scores hat tricks against Fulhams and fucking shit, right? And he doesn't score in big games, right? Would you still say he's one of the best Premier League strikers
if you're comparing his stats
of all
to
time?
not of all time, but if you let's compare his stats to other strikers,
But
the Shearers, the Henrys, the
hang on
Aguero.
a
that's all
second.
time.
But this is the argument we've had before.
Yeah, 100%.
It's not only the stats, because the stats now you can say Harry Kane is the fucking best striker of all time. Please suck my dick. That's a complete fucking flaw. You can't just look at the statistics alone.
No.
It's a whole fucking package.
Absolutely. And
I-
including
I-
the goals
Yeah,
themselves.
but statistics now compared to in the 90s are going to be fucking ridiculously. It's going to be
100%.
ridiculously skewed.
100%. Totally agree.
6 matches, 10 goals.
Mate,
That surely has to be ridiculous. Like,
no, it's
can we
impressive. It's impressive.
acknowledge?
It's
Yes,
impressive.
yes,
We
I
acknowledge.
acknowledge that. I do acknowledge
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying he's fucking
Are you
the next
no,
Henry or Shearer.
That's all.
I'm just saying, like, 10
You're
goals
saying
in
a lot
6
more than
matches.
that. You're saying a lot more than that. Taking back to the predictions, Akram. Oh,
Yeah.
flop, blah, 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 look at
10
him.
goals.
76 goals.
Did you think that in 6 matches going to be 10 goals in?
No, no,
No, but,
Okay,
but
that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
Nobody
okay.
thought
That's
that.
all I'm saying.
No, thought specifically that.
Nobody
We, I never said, and Fatty never said that he was going to fail or flop. He's too good a player in too good a team. All I'm saying is he's not Ballon d'Or top 10 of all time. He's going to revolutionize football. He's a good player.
But he's walked into arguably one of the best club sides in the world at the moment.
Yeah.
Under
That's what Guardiola's doing. What's
under-
the Darcy when you need it?
arguably one of the best managers in club football at the moment.
And
So-
one of the best in history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's physically probably at the peak.
Physical-
Physically,
yeah.
at a peak
He's only
performance.
22.
It's a good
He's a good player.
Fuck, he was born in 2000. Fuck, I feel old.
it's a good
Situation for him to be in.
concoction
Yeah.
of everything happening together.
100%.
So yes, whilst I do admit that it's fucking great,
It's
statistics
good for
are
him. Yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
If you don't look at anything else and you just look how many goals has Haaland scored this year, you say, "Fuck, I'm bro, best striker ever."
Best player in the world.
Players now, people now on skill the goat. Fuck off, come on.
No,
A
100%.
little perspective.
The other week
perspective.
when he scored the hat trick, a week and a half ago, everyone was going on about the third goal as it was like the most clinical goal ever scored. I admit, he had a bit of work to do, but most of the work he had to do was hold off his man, and physically, that's exactly what you expect of him. He's physically strong enough and fit enough and fast enough to be a presence in the box. A through ball in, he knocks the guy off, and he coolly finishes. That's a great goal, good for him. It's not it's not fantastic. It's not Ballon d'Or level. It's not even Mbappe
It's not
level. And right
Puskas
now,
level, yeah.
it's not. Yeah.
It's not Pushkas goal.
Oh, I said, look at him push up. I
Same.
think it's going to be a real fun episode. But
Fucking excited, this guy.
well, yeah, no, it's not every day. You agree with me so much, hey? But no, like it's a good goal, decent. But like right now, Mbappe's stock is pretty low considering of the way he's behaved himself. But I have people saying they'll choose Haaland over Mbappe based on game alone. That is ridiculous.
That's a bit
And
harsh.
Mbappe is faster, more agile, much more skillful on the ball. You could put him on the wing. You could put him as attack. You could put him anywhere in the front line.
Are we considering ego in this, or
Well, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like taking away all of that stuff that's happened in the last few weeks, just talking about the game alone, Haaland is a good in the box, giving the ball and let him blast one in. More times than not, he'll score, especially if your team is feeding him with a lot of
And
chances.
I notice he always makes those great runs late into back post where there's a ball coming across and he's there to fucking put it in the net or whatever. So he does have a striker's mentality, which is great. And that works well in the Premier League. But it remains to be seen. I would like to see how he performs against the big teams.
100%. I
And
agree.
at season's end, then you can make a judgment.
speaking of big teams, Arsenal with a strong start.
Strong start. People got carried away. I have Arsenal mates who were like, "Oh, that's it. We're title contenders this year." I said, "Listen, calm the fuck down. You had a run of good results. Some games are very tight. You didn't play top 4 contenders. So really, okay, it's a great start. It's a good springboard for the rest of the season. Compared to last year, you started with 3 losses. So yeah, absolutely, it's chalk and cheese. The first big test, United.
What happened?
I felt it was a little unlucky.
What was the score? Was it
3-1.
3-1.
Oh,
3-1.
I knew the score.
I felt it was a little unlucky.
Look,
to be
I
honest.
watched the first half, and Arsenal were better.
Overall, they were better. More shots, more possession, everything. So they went for it. But Arteta made a mistake, and I feel like he made 3 subs at a crucial point in the 70th minute before they conceded the 3rd goal when they were chasing the game. And the players that came in still needed to adapt to the pace of the game. It was very fast. It was one of those games where the crowd gets on your back, and it was like that. So he made those changes. Players that came in, you pulled out key players and brought in other players to try and bring in legs, and you lost the ball. Arsenal were pressing very high. When you press high and you're not winning the ball up there, you get caught on the counter. So they got caught with 2 balls where Rashford, with pace, gets in behind the defenders just past the center circle. That's how high the line was. So from the center circle line to the 18-yard box, there's acreage. There's no one there. Twice. Both goals were like that. So clearly they were pressing high. 1 or 2 jump into the tackle, miss the tackle, bang, it's a through ball and you're on. United had their chances. They took them clinically, and that's it. So I think it was a bit of lack of experience with the players, obviously being young players, and Arteta as well. But it's a good learning curve as well. And it's good to learn and get a loss like that to realize, like, hey, get your feet back on the ground.
Early in the season,
you've had 5 wins in a row.
Good for you.
Settle down.
Yeah.
Don't get carried away. You need to have a loss to sort of ground you and you recoup and say, okay, what are we doing wrong? Rather than think that, we're untouchable, which is never going to happen.
Yeah.
Never going to happen. Not in this day and age anyway.
I got to say, like, it's been really exciting to see. With any football fan that I come across that, wants to talk Premier League, it is a great talking point because everyone has their their clubs that they want to go for and talk about. But something that I think every football fan agrees with is how exciting it is to see Arsenal do well.
And they're playing nice football.
They are playing nice
They're
football,
playing
yes.
nice football, which is good. It's nice to see that there's a bit of confidence about it. And they still kept going for it even when they were losing. Still kept trying to play the same way, which is positive.
Also, the Premier League is good to see Liverpool dropping points. Man City drop
points.
points as well, though. Like, which means to be more competitive.
It's definitely
Apart from fucking up the Maltese, it's been nice seeing the teams that you expect to just go and take the charge early on to drop points early on, which makes it a competitive league.
And I got to ask, like early, the last time we were here, we were fairly trashing Man United pretty badly, but since our last podcast, they've had a couple good
wins,
couple good
results.
Yeah,
I think play wise,
there's still a lot of issues.
There's still a lot of
grinding out a win against Liverpool.
But it's much easier to work on your problems when you're winning.
Yeah, and you're grinding out a result against Liverpool, which is one of the best clubs that everyone's been going on about. Klopp is apparently the best manager that's ever lived, and Dijk's the best centre back that's ever lived, etc., etc., etc. So if Liverpool are as good as they say they are, I think Man United should be pretty proud, and Man United fans. And again, the win against Arsenal this morning, while Arsenal is certainly on the way up rather than being at the top of the mountain, that's still another contender for top 4. It's still a good measuring stick. So I think Man United fans should be feeling a little bit more hopeful that there's a bit more talent there than we're giving them credit for.
Yeah, and all of a sudden now, after their poor start, they're 12 points and fucking 3 points off first place. So yeah, you're straight back in a couple of wins, and then it changes.
It changes your perspective a lot.
You mentioned the best centre back in the world, Van Dijk.
I did mention the best centre back in the world.
Is that my cue to leave? Or
on that note, let's get the show started.
Welcome to the Football Retro Podcast.
The word welcome, I guess, is stretching it a little when you're an Australian in a place like this today.
And welcome back. So, on the back of mentioning Van Dijk, today we are going to be talking centre-backs. The history of centre-backs, how the roles changed, the best centre-backs that ever played the game. So let's start off with the role itself. Obviously, some players revolutionised the role. Some are more goal scorers. Some are just tall, strong, and walls. Some are chopping. Some are more classy. How has the role itself evolved for you, like?
Well, look, unfortunately, the way I look at the question you just asked is, look, unfortunately, the role has evolved into one that their technical skills are becoming more and more valued over their defensive ones, and their ability to fit into a system, kind of like the way goalkeepers have been.
I was going to say, sounds similar to our conversation with goalkeepers.
100%, and their value in how they fit into their system is being rated higher than the defensive acumen. To me, Johnny, if you look at the last 10 years or so, 2010 to 2020, which two centre backs really typify that era? Which two centre backs really are that era?
Ramos and Piqué.
Thank you. Ramos and Piqué, both known for their offensive qualities as much as their defensive ones. Ramos, as much as I love the player as a Real Madrid fan, was known for being an inspirational leader, a gamesman, borderline dirty player at times, a real captain. Not being a wall of in defense, not being the most defensively skilled player of all time, but inspirational, a gamesman, and scoring headers and clutch goals in clutch moments. Same as Piqué. Piqué's ability to fit into the tiki-taka system is what his legacy is about. His ability on the ball rather than his defensive acumen, and that says a 10-year period. And the two most famous defenders are known not for their defense.
It's the style of football's changed as well, from a more direct style of play to the Guardiola style of the ball going back and forth. So your two centre backs probably the people that touch the ball the most in a game. So you expect them to have distribution, you expect them to have vision, you expect them to be positioning well. So like you said, the same way that Busquets changed the defensive mid role, those centre backs needed to adapt to the style of football as well.
100%, and that's fair enough. And it's not really a knock on the defenders that have to play in today's game. But when we think of the word defense and the role of a defender, the skills and abilities and traits that they have that typify more defense oriented means that they're going to be better defenders. And that means that players from the past are just generally better defenders. The game was more defensive orientated. You needed a better defense. You know, Piqué and Ramos, once again, the two players I just described, were playing for clubs that never were known for having a stout defense or having a great defensive record. So what did that tell you about like how we see defenders in the game these days?
Well, let me jump straight to the hot burning question that Fatty wants to answer. He came here tonight for one reason and one reason only, is to answer this
I was
question.
going to say something else, but you want to?
No,
Oh,
no.
let
Still
him-
shit.
All right.
I was going to talk about, for me, when you say a defender, a centre back, you know, specifically, I think about 80s and 90s Italian defenders. That's what I think about. Or English defenders, you know, strong, no nonsense, will break your fucking legs.
Give me names.
You know, Tony Adams, your fucking Maldinis, your Yapstans.
Sol Campbell.
Yeah, I think of players like that. Big rig shit houses that will fucking clean you up, step on your fucking feet, elbow you in the face, do whatever to fucking rough up the striker. You know, first tackle in the game, they fucking go through you. Shit like that. Now, yes, absolutely, it's evolved, and they want players that are good with their feet or whatever. I don't know. It's also risky because that's the riskiest position to play with the ball at your feet, especially when you're playing out from the back. And we've seen a lot of mistakes. You know, I watch a lot of EPL. I've seen a lot of mistakes with teams trying to play out from the back, Liverpool being one of them. United, again, another fucking big mistake doing that. So I don't know. Do I prefer it now? Personally, no, but football's evolved, unfortunately, and you gotta change with it.
Aesthetically, for me, I mean, I might enjoy it when I watch it, and it's fine to see a centre back. Like, for example, one of my favorite centre backs right now that have been playing in the last 10 years is Leonardo Bonucci. And Bonucci was very well known as a centre back that wasn't really highly regarded for his defensive qualities, but for his ball playing. He works so well next to Chiellini, who feels like a throwback to an old-fashioned defender. He feels like those 80s, 90s defenders.
Yeah.
And he's one of the best defensive players of the last 20 years easily, right? So them two worked really well together. And watching Bonucci, you know, kick these, you know, diagonal passes down to the right wing or et cetera is really fun to watch. I get it. And that's fine. If you like that football, if you've grown up in this era and this is what all you've known, totally get it. All respect to you. But when it comes to who's a better defender, who are the best defenders of all time, it's got to be someone that doesn't play in this era.
Oh, we'll go through the list in a second. Before we get to the list,
The list is there.
I go back to the question.
Okay, the burn
Burning
question.
question. The Fatty drove all the way.
I feel like this list is going to bother me a lot.
No, I reckon it will.
Some names might, but more importantly, is Virgil van Dijk
No.
the best centre back in the world today, or even in the last 5 years?
Can I ask you, do you actually think I'm going to say yes?
Yes.
You
No.
honestly think I would say
I'm-
fucking yes?
I don't know anything.
Firstly,
If I've learned anything recently, is that I know nothing. Nothing.
good. Firstly, I fucking hate Liverpool fans, which in turn makes me hate Liverpool. Which, in addition to that, makes me hate Liverpool's players who are touted as the fucking greatest in their positions. Virgil van Dijk's the best centre back. Trent Alexander-Arnold's the best right back. Fucking Mo Salah's the best fucking attacker. I don't know fucking who's the best midfielder. Shut the fuck up.
Jordan Henderson.
Fuck off.
And
Henderson.
Milner.
Milner. Now this fucking Nunes retard. Fuck. He looks like a fucking Bolivian monkey.
So you're saying the Liverpool fans that compared Salah to Messi were wrong?
Of course they were fucking wrong. What a fucking joke. Well, also, in addition to that, suck shit. Now, I hope they realise how much they fucking miss Mane. Toothless.
When you was going to happen.
Toothless is a fucking 18th century British hooker.
Fuck
Rubbish.
Liverpool itself. Let's get back to the question.
Is it Van Dijk himself, right?
No, he's not the greatest defender
Why?
of all time. Well, listen,
That's a big argument.
Listen, we touched on this before, and I said
It's a
it's
big
too
argument,
early,
eh?
it's
Okay.
too early. The guy is still in his career. You got to judge him towards the end. That's one.
No, but what
Two.
I'm saying today he's the
No,
best
he's
centre back
not.
today.
No, he's not. No, he's not. Okay, I'll say very recent examples now. From the start of Liverpool's start to the season has not been great. Virgil van Dijk's made a lot of errors in those games, a lot. And I'm not saying because I'm reading articles. I watched those games. I physically watched him make mistakes, and I even commented in our group chat. I said, "Fuck, is this best centre back in the world?" You know, giving away sloppy penalty, turning away while a player's inside your box taking a shot, to referring to the Fulham game, for example, where they drew. Not the traits of the best defender. I don't see that.
He's very good, if not the best, at the 1v1 battles.
Because
He's
big.
strong, he's big, he's
Yeah,
physical.
But in saying that, traditionally being a centre back, because you're at the back of the field and you can see everything in front of you, you should be also directing your players, whether you're captain or not. You should be one of the most vocal players on the field. You can see everything. You should be controlling. And he's one of the senior players in that Liverpool squad. He's one of the leaders in that Liverpool squad. So he should be commanding there. I feel like he doesn't do that, and he's not doing that. And to me, that's part of a trait of being the best, whatever position
100%.
you are.
That's a really good point, Fatty, you made. A lot of defenders have talked about in their careers, and especially in their post careers, talking about how if they have to get into a one-on-one situation where they have to make a tactic to make a tackle, they've already failed.
Maldini said that.
Oh, thank you. So there you go. So then, yeah, like it's basically all about marshalling your troops, knowing your position, intercepting the ball, anticipating the moves. Van Dijk might be very good at that one-on-one, but the thing about that is that it is the most showiest part of the game. For a defender, is the big tackles, the one-on-ones, the shoulder barges. That's great. You're good at that, but players who have already anticipated a situation and been able to eliminate it as a threat is a harder skill, but a much less showier skill.
Because he's not going to be getting younger, so he's not going to have his pace is going to drop off. Things like that are going to change. He's going to come up against young players who are quick with their feet. He's going to give away stupid fouls or penalties or things like that.
100%.
So he needs to be able to command his area. Yes.
Okay,
I
so
don't feel like he does that.
if a Liverpool fan comes up to you and says he's the best in the world, your reply is no, blank is. Who is the best defender? Who is the best centre back in the world today?
Very hard right now. Very hard for me to say. I haven't watched anyone that carefully to say right now this defender we've got.
Is Rudiger better than?
No.
Is that what you're thinking?
No, I don't think so.
100% I was actually. I mean, I don't know if he was better like in this moment, but
in
I'll
Chelsea, he was.
I'll look at Chelsea's his performance in Chelsea, and especially when they won the Champions League. I think he was the best defender when they won the Champions League 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I think Rudiger was on fire. I think Alaba last year was a good shout for Real Madrid because he came in after playing the large majority of his career for Bayern, and he just took control of that defense with a young Eder Militao next to him. And they had massive hurdles going up to win that Champions League and La Liga last year. So I think Alaba deserves all the credit in the world. In fact, I would probably say Alaba is the best defender right now, if I didn't say Van Dijk.
But
it's a 50-50 call for me.
This in itself now should tell you that quality is not the same. So if you're saying Van Dijk's not the best, but I can't really find someone that's amazing, what does that tell you right now at the moment? No one to me stands out like that to say that's amazing. And this is why people say, "Oh, Van Dijk's the best."
But he is the only one that does stand out, and part of the reason he stands out is because
Liverpool have done so well,
and also because of the media machine driving Liverpool, and the fans, and the fact that Liverpool haven't been successful for so long. So as soon as they enter that era of success, everyone's overhyped all their best players, including Salah.
It's not just entering the era of success. For example, they had a poor start to the season. When they finally ended up winning and they beat Bournemouth 9-0, all right, and Van Dijk ended up scoring a goal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, they had a fucking flap over it. The media had a flap over it. Oh, this is why they're the champions. I don't know what. Bournemouth lost 3 games against 3, City, fucking Liverpool, and I don't know who else, another top 4 contender, right? Scott Parker got sacked. Clearly, they're on a fucking downward spiral. They're 5 games in. Their manager's already been sacked. For Liverpool to go and slap on 9-0, that's papering over the cracks. The media wanted something to fucking have a fap over. Oh, Van Dijk was fucking amazing, clean sheet. 100%. They scored 9 goals. He fucking scored. I don't know what. Blah blah blah. Which is a testament to the media fucking hype.
Yeah.
Beating up of fucking Liverpool, mate.
Yeah.
But no, they didn't say nothing about their poor start.
No.
As soon as they won 1 game convincingly, forget it.
Yeah, 100%.
Let's jump onto the list. The website's 90min.com, which is
we
is
love
popular.
our 90min website. Yeah.
There's that one last time that we argued about the fucking
No.
pairings.
We haven't used this one before.
Oh, fucking here we go.
All right, so it says top 25. A couple of them might skip over because before our time, no one would know who they are. But at 25, we've got PK.
Top 20. Oh, this is sorry, top 25 list.
Top 25 of all time.
Okay,
So
so
you got 20. You've got
Feels a
PK
bit-
at
feels a
25.
bit far. I feel it'd be a lot.
Considering how
lot higher
successful
on that
he
list.
is and be
I'm
playing
okay
in the
with that number.
playing in the most successful, best, probably the best club
Era
of all
for
time.
Barcelona.
Team, yeah.
Yeah.
Number 24, Alde.
I remember Alde.
Okay, yeah.
But I don't think Alde's better than PK.
That's
It
Yeah.
doesn't make sense to me. Like
Mm,
Alde was a bit.
I agree.
Alde had a bit of a
Yeah.
shortish career.
I find it's
that
going
was
to be a
successful.
very interesting article then.
But you know what?
Mhm.
You know what I gotta say? At least they picked out players that you wouldn't fucking expect, not your standard.
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
I
but
mean,
it's only 25 and 24. We're going to see top 10 is going to be
23 is Billy McNeil. I have no idea who that is.
good old Billy.
22, Rio Ferdinand.
Yeah, that's fair. Rio Ferdinand does deserve to be in that list, absolutely. You know what he did for Leeds, what he did for United, especially. He had a lot of success with United as well.
And the Vidic Ferdinand partnership.
Yeah, that partnership was great. We've touched on it before, so he deserves his spot on the list.
21, Chiellini.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah, I like that.
I think he needs to be a little higher,
You reckon?
in
Yeah,
my opinion.
maybe.
Did you see his latest interview? I think it was last week.
Talking about what?
He's come out and said, if he wasn't for football, I'd be getting a lot less sex. Because I'm a footballer. Then,
Yeah, that's
he
fair.
helped me get women into bed.
It's not the best looking bloke. I've got to give him that.
He knows it.
That's
he
a
knows
fair
it.
comment.
20, an Alan Hansen.
Yeah, the Arsenal. Back in the fucking 70s, was it?
I don't know. As Liverpool's main man at the heart of defence this year.
Oh, Arsenal. Sorry, I'm fucking thinking about
Liverpool.
that Arsenal win in the 70s at Anfield.
19, I don't know if you know the legend from Bayern Munich, Hans-Georg Schwarzenbeck.
No.
That's
Okay.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, I think.
Schwarzenbeck. Sounds like a B.
Schwarzenegger.
Claudio Gentile at 18.
I'm sorry?
Claudio Gentile.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, he was, along with, very talented defenders in Juventus's, best, but I would say their best period of all time in the 80s.
What's he most famous for?
Years. Oh, I don't know.
What's he most famous for? For marking Maradona out of the 82 World Cup.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Chopped the shit out of him. Like, if he wouldn't be able to do it today,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
he man marked him.
So,
Probably the best man marked game. Like, it's an example of how to man mark someone.
really?
Followed him everywhere. Didn't let him play. Chopped him constantly. Like, but they're all small fouls.
Yeah.
Very, very good
Well,
example.
yeah,
of
went on to win the
1-on-1.
1982 World Cup with that, so.
Number 17, Yapstam. The Dutch.
Yeah, that's
Dutch Wall.
That's one of those no nonsense defenders that I refer to. The Yapstams, the Vidiches, that sort of thing, where they'll throw their body on the line. They're very commanding. See, they're two Dutch players. For example, if you're comparing Stam and Van Dijk, footballing wise, is a lot more gifted. Technically, maybe more gifted.
Who
Yapstam,
you're
I would
afraid
take
of most?
I would take Yapstam as a leader. As
Wow.
a leader, as a fucking, he'll break your legs.
He
He'll
was
throw
a
his body on the
scary looking motherfucker. Like, I don't think anyone would want to get near him in a fight, man.
But
He looks like he would kill you.
the Upstam, if he was playing in that Liverpool team against Fulham a few weeks ago, I'm pretty sure he wouldn't have put his hands behind his back and turned while fucking what's his name was taking. Was it Mitrovic? No, someone else was shooting on goal inside the 18-yard box. Turned like this, like he fucking scared the ball. Upstam would have fucking went in and blocked it with his fucking nuts to save a goal.
There's a line at the end of every player here.
Yeah.
You would love it. You would hate it. It's
Here we go.
actor who would play him in a movie. So it's a fun little thing at the bottom. So if you have any questions for any of them, let me know and I'll answer it.
Why would I hate it?
Because it's corny, it's gay. You don't like that stuff.
What the
So you
fuck
like
is
movie stuff.
Who would play Upstam? It's got to be
Ed,
fucking.
Ed Harris. I thought it was Jason Statham.
That's what I would have said.
I
Jason
know,
Statham,
eh?
100%.
That's a good point.
Same typical fucking look.
Ed
same
Harris.
aggro look.
Ed Harris can be pretty scary looking.
Trying to see who else
You
is
know?
there.
Who would Ferdinand? Who would play?
PK's Ben Affleck apparently.
Oh, please. What a poofter. Now I hate him.
John Terry, number 16.
Yes. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I feel like he should be higher.
Really? Wow.
I
Fair
feel like
enough.
I
Terry should
love
be
John Terry. As a leader.
No, well, like my argument
He'll
was
take the ball
gonna
off you and fuck your wife in the same way.
my argument was like, do you rate him as a better defender than Ferdinand?
It's close.
Because that's
Yeah, look, it's a tough
I
call,
find it a rule.
but it's not wrong either way.
I guess so, but I mean, he's several spots above Ferdinand in here. This guy certainly thinks he's much better than Ferdinand. To me, I always thought Ferdinand was the better defender.
Look, I think on their day, they're both going to be great. And when they played against each other, they both played at their peaks. It was very, very hard. Like you had the two at the time. You had the two best defenders in the Premier League playing on opposing teams in the same match.
So the question is,
You don't have that nowadays.
the question is John Terry too high or Ferdinand too low?
Ferdinand's too low.
He should be closer to 16.
Yes.
Well, let's look at the rest of the names and see if you agree. Because number 15, you got Laurent Blanc.
Ah, no, I love Laurent Blanc, man.
Laurent Blanc was was one of those players that, like you said, encompassed a bit of everything.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And he was part of that sort of
Transition.
That transition, yeah.
that transition era.
Absolutely. He started his career as an attacking midfielder, as number 10.
A left-footed player.
6'4".
When he
very
came to
technically
United,
gifted.
he was a bit hit and miss at United.
Yeah, but he was already,
He was already past it, I think, in his career.
very graceful player though,
Yes.
especially in the 90s.
Yeah.
He actually stood out against all the the hard wall style defenders.
Yeah.
He was quite a technically
He
gifted
was a
one.
different style player.
John Terry will be played by Danny Dyer.
Danny Dyer. Oh, fuck off.
Danny
Terry,
Dyer.
you dickhead.
Marcel Desailly at number 14.
I love Marcel Desailly. Personally, I love him. I enjoyed his style. I feel like whilst he was a hard player, he wasn't never a dirty player.
Mm.
Something about him, he was just
A bit of class to it.
Yeah, he had a bit of class about it, but he was very strong.
Very honest.
He had a solid, good footing. He had a good partnership with Frank Leboeuf as well.
He was so good on the ball that he could play defensive mid if needed.
And they had that.
Yeah.
And they had that partnership at France and for Chelsea as well. You know, Chelsea, late 90s, early 2000s. That partnership there as well was solid. Very, very classy defender.
I like to say, I probably would lean towards Blanc though. Personally, that's just me.
I feel like they're a little different.
They are.
I feel like Blanc started to play more a little on the left back as well. And sometimes Desailly could only play centre back.
I mean, for me, I always thought Blanc as a leader heading into the 1998 World Cup, very inspirational as a player. You know, and I like the technical side of it, even though we were just trashing the technical side of the defenders.
I'm liking this list already because they're putting a lot of older players ahead of more recent players.
I totally agree.
Which means that they value the actual defensive aspect of the player rather than how skillful they are or how many goals they've scored so far.
Next one, but like,
But more importantly,
Fuck it, yeah.
who would play this Elena movie?
Who would play Marcel Desailly in a movie? Fuck, it'd have to be Idris Elba or some shit.
They've got Will Smith here.
Come on. Damn, what is that? They just picked any black actor.
Wesley Snipes would be better fit.
No, who picks it? Is it the actual player or the person that's writing the
No,
article?
the author of the article.
Rubbish.
Number 13, Yero.
that's
Fernando
right.
Yero.
Fernando Hero, yeah.
I like Fernando Hierro. Like, it's a really interesting spot. It's an awkward
I
position
agree.
for me because I don't want to have to argue against it.
Real Madrid legend, eh?
Yeah, absolutely. I actually think he's a little higher on the
I would
list.
call him a Bolton Wanderers legend.
Oh, hey, I love the Bolton Wanderers during that time. Big Sam, mate. I think he's actually a little too high on the list, which is
I think
Which
part of
one,
it,
yeah?
from what I'm reading here, part of it is because, going back to what you said, he's got 163 career goals. So that's what sort of bumped him
Yeah,
up.
look, I didn't. I mean, he was one of those as well that encompassed a little bit of both, and he was a bit of a classy player. I would not take him over the others. If I had to choose.
over who? Over
Like I would take.
Claudio Gentile? Definitely not. I think looking at this now, I'm starting to think Gentile is a little too low. Ferdinand, Terry,
Blanc.
Blanc, Desailly, and Stam, I would all probably take over Fernando Hierro.
Not all of them.
Especially,
Fuck, that's a lot. Maybe not Blanc.
Stam or Yero?
no,
Stam. Yeah, Stam. would-
really, you take Hierro over Blanc.
No, I would. Yeah, but I'll take Stam over Hero.
I think we'll
Oh,
agree.
no, I
I
get
think
that.
we'll agree on that.
Yeah.
Number 12. Oh, sorry. Who played a movie? Antonio Banderas.
That's fucking. Hey, that's fucking cultural appropriation. That's
I love it.
fucking racist.
I love it.
I'm
Number
offended
12.
by that shit.
Puyol. Was an interesting one.
Yeah,
No, I don't think that's too bad.
I don't know.
think
Nah,
that's too bad.
I think I disagree with that one.
Fuck, what are you on it to be? Number 30?
No, 55. No. It's just that, like, honestly, Puyol
You
was
just cut because he's ahead of Hero. That's why.
no,
Why?
it's
Why?
because to me, some of the other players on the list typify that very classic defender and like I don't know, just okay, just a bit of subjectivity. Maybe because I don't like Puyol that much.
Wishy-washy answer that was, honestly.
Mate, it is hard to kind of define, but I think like Blanc won the World Cup. He was a big leader on that team.
That's better. Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
He had the technical side of the football. Puyol also, his main portion of his career was not in Barcelona's more funny period, right, entering into their peak.
That's true.
He won a World Cup as well. He scored the semi-final header.
Far out. That's true. Fuck, I don't know.
Fucked him up.
Yeah,
You
fuck
just
you.
waited. You waited the fucking word there after he gave all this fucking.
I still think it's too high.
If you're any more confused, I'll be calling you Biden right now.
I still think it's too high.
You're like this one,
now
Fanny.
now it's subjective.
They would play him in a movie. Kelsey Grammer as the voice of Sideshow Bob. As the voice of Sideshow Bob. Bit of Tarzan.
Tarzan reminds me of JP.
Number 11, Jose Santamaria.
Yeah.
Cousins or something.
No, Real Madrid, 60s.
Yeah, but
50s legend. Yeah, no. Well, yeah,
Or Spanish.
he's Spanish.
Hispanic.
Santa Maria definitely should be up there as one of the greatest defenders that ever played. Probably a lot of fans don't know. I don't know him much. He was instrumental for Real Madrid's 50s Madrid era with Di Stefano, Puskás, and etc. He doesn't get as much credit as he deserves. He was their leader. He was there for almost every single Champions League win in that 5 era run. I think he only missed maybe 2.
It's actually Uruguay. I'm just reading now. I thought you were Spanish. There you go.
See your fucking people, bro.
Anyway, yeah, no, I mean, I think what holds him back and what keeps him a little lower on the list than he probably deserves is just because of the era he played.
Lower.
Yeah, like
it's higher than everyone else that you said was amazing.
Well, in saying that, number 10 is a Billy Wright.
Oh, you should know Billy Wright.
Captain England.
Oh, you don't know because it's Pom. Johnny obviously doesn't know him because of the Falklands shit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he refuses to acknowledge that England even exists. But
me, I should know. Sorry, man.
Well, speaking of number 9, Daniel Passarella.
There you go.
Now
1978 World Cup captain for Argentina.
All right, so Johnny, then what do you think about this? To me, I think that's a little too actually low on the list. I think it should be a little higher.
Look, he's definitely top 10. And every list, every list that I found have him in the top 10 as well.
Yeah, but
my personal opinion is he's top 10. He's the best defender.
How high in the top 10?
No, fucking no.
It's hard. Let's go through the other names to see and compare. But I reckon he'll be about 6th or 7th in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I do too actually.
He's the best,
and I'll explain why.
He's the best centre back out of Argentina, and if you challenge me a little bit, I can't think of anyone else in the whole of South America
really
who have produced a better centre back.
Walter Samuel.
Lucio.
He was a leader. He was once again 134 career goals. So he was a goal scorer, but a goal scorer in important games. Free kicks, headers. He was an all-round captain. He was pretty young as well when he captained the team in 1978.
That's what I think is important. The captaining leadership aspect. I feel for a centre back is crucial, even if you're not the captain of the team. As I said, because of the position that you're in and physically on the field, you should be in some sort of leadership role. If your captain's your striker or your midfielder or wherever the fuck it is, your centre back also needs to be at least there or thereabouts in terms of marshalling the team. We know how football's played. You've got to be, you see everything from the back. If you're not going to be talking and say, oh, fuck, I'm not really the captain or I'm just here to be a superstar, then that doesn't go down well. So fuck Van Dijk. That's what he does.
I also think there's a really interesting stat with Passarella. I don't know if you want to talk about it now, but like 1978 win, and he was there for 1986 as well.
He was there for 86, but didn't play any minutes.
He didn't play any minutes at all.
He was part of the squad. There was a big story about him and Maradona clashing? Him and the coach clashing. So the first thing Bilardo did in 1982 when he came, or 1979, sorry, 83 when he came in, took the captaincy of Passarella and gave it to Maradona. So there's a bit of a, not rivalry, but separation between Passarella and Maradona.
Yeah, very interesting, mate. Very interesting.
Passarella got food poisoning throughout the tournament as well. Bit of rumours about that.
Yeah.
But he was part of the squad, but didn't play any minutes.
But technically, out of all these players, I don't know if there's another player on this list that technically has 2 World Cups on their record.
That's true. Also played in a movie by Al Pacino. All right. Number 8, Ronald Koeman.
Gee, man.
Oh, wow, I don't know, man. I
Nah,
don't know.
that's a fuck up.
When I saw this, I found it pretty
That's
high.
the first big misstep, in my opinion.
Very, very, very high in my
Yeah.
I think
my liking.
Coleman belongs on the list of 20 odd. I don't think he should
And
be
you,
where he
and
is
you know
now.
why? The only reason why they put him there, Passarella has 134 career goals. Koeman as a centre back has 253 career
Here
goals.
we go.
And that's the only reason why they put him.
Yeah, but where were they
Yeah,
scored?
how old is the
Where
writer
were
of
most
this article? Is he 22?
Where were most of them scored? Probably fucking in Holland. So
He was like he's considered like the best attacking or goal scoring defender of all time, or sorry, centre back of all time, because he had a great free kick on him, and he was the penalty taker a lot of the time, and that's great. Like all that, it's very valid. But wow, you're passing over a lot of legends right there.
I know.
and unfortunately, he can't manage for shit. So that's a minus as well.
But most importantly, played in a movie by Val Kilmer.
You know what? That's actually a good pick. I would say that. That's
It
a good
is.
pick. Fucking looks the same.
Number 7, Sergio Ramos.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. That makes sense to me. Overall, for the kind of players, I think he brings a bit of everything.
He's someone that you always want in your team.
Strong defensively, leadership, goal scoring, not too bad with his feet. So he has a bit of every aspect together. He's better with some.
He's got
things than
presence.
others.
He's got leadership.
Yeah.
He comes in
So I think
crucial
that's fair.
moments.
I think that's fair.
Can I say okay?
What do you think should be one?
What are you questioning? What are you questioning here?
Gritting your teeth and shit.
You're a fuck, aren't you, mate?
What are you questioning?
What I was going to question had nothing to do with it. No, I think it's a fair spot. But why is he so highly rated over Piqué when Piqué's career?
Yeah, that's
That-
fair.
I
I
was
think
like-
Piquet's pretty low on the list.
Yeah.
I said that in the beginning, though.
Oh,
Yeah,
now
that
you
was
said
too
it
low.
being oh,
I
that's
did,
great.
you know,
You did.
rewind
I'm
the
not
fucking thing.
arguing. I'm not arguing that you said that.
You are.
No, I'm not.
You're
I'm
sarcastic, saying, "Oh, you said that at the beginning."
well, because now you want to talk about it. When a minute ago you want to talk shit, going, "No, you want him number one,"
Because you
and
said-
now you're going to build and go, "Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, I said that too. Fuck you."
I did say that though.
I agree.
said
You said
before
that.
I knew Ramos was on this list at number 7. I knew that fucking pick was too low.
Played in a movie by Tom Hardy, which is a fair pick.
Yeah,
I'll say that.
That makes sense to me. Except
Number
the accent's
6.
wrong.
Number 6, Fabio Cannavaro.
Ooh,
I
Now
mean,
you get into the Taiwan.
he's a Ballon d'Or winner.
I like Cannavaro. I personally like Cannavaro as a defender, and I feel like he's of the same mold of those
Yes.
clever Italian defenders, the Maldinis, where they're not just fucking butchers. Very smart, clever,
Mm-hmm.
tactically very good.
One of
Have
three.
the leadership qualities as well.
One of 3 defenders to win a Ballon d'Or. One of 3, yeah. So I mean, to me, I think he.
I think should be
fits
higher.
that. Maybe.
When it's
See who the other spots are, but I think he fits the spot nicely there
Mhm.
because. But the next one on your list, I have a prediction. I think I know who it is.
Before we get there, Bruce
Yeah.
Willis will play him in a movie.
Bruce Willis.
Just there who found any ball.
I feel like Cannavaro is top 5 for me.
Well,
comfortably.
okay, so
Well, you'll be able to talk about the next one because number 5 is Gaetano Scirea.
Scirea. Yes, and I mean that's where I was gonna say I think he's a little like I'm a bit surprised he's that high. In many lists that you see him on, he's normally in the bottom 5 of the 10.
Mhm.
1982 World Cup. He was there for the Juventus's best period. He had there with next to him Claudio Gentile, as we saw, real intelligent class player. It's we talk about the 80s and 90s being those defenders, of those big strong defenders, right? I think they were a lot more common, but it seems to me the best defenders in every period are the players that were well-rounded, but were very smart, intelligent players. And he was definitely one of the most tactically gifted players we've probably ever seen. There's only one other player on this list that I would think, from an intelligence standpoint, is better.
Okay, let's get there. Number 4, Alessandro Nesta.
So that's who I was wanting to talk to you about, Fadi, was do you take Cannavaro or Nesta? Because to me, I would take Cannavaro.
I agree.
I agree.
I totally
Yeah.
agree as well.
But
look,
a lot of lists have had Nesta higher.
Look, the partnership was fantastic, and
Yeah.
that's what you can't dispute. But when it comes to picking one or the other, Nesta I felt like was a good accompaniment to,
Backup. Yeah.
to Cannavaro, not the other way around. So for me, Cannavaro would come first.
For the national team, right? But
Yeah.
but for club football, I guess maybe the reason they give it to him is the all the Champions League kind of success.
Yeah, he had a good run. He had a great
better
run
than
with
better than
Milan.
Cannavaro's.
Yeah,
I don't think Cannavaro
yeah.
ever won a European Cup.
But we're not talking about their achievements.
No.
We're talking about who would you
No,
take
yeah,
as a
100%.
defender.
No, I'm just saying, like, is that why they would probably put it higher?
Probably.
You would agree on the actor, though.
Oh, here we go.
Johnny Depp. You see it, eh? You see it.
I can see the
You
resemblance.
see it.
You guys are better at fucking movies than putting defenders in mix.
Number 3, someone that we can't talk too much about is Bobby Moore. Obviously, before our time, Captain England to the '66 World Cup final. He's known to be one of the best of all time, according to the English themselves.
So to me, the reason why, yeah, but of course, Bobby Moore is, for the English fans is one of the best defenders that ever lived. Right behind Van Dijk, of course. But for me, I don't understand. All right, so Bobby Moore, they won the World Cup 1966. I would think if you are going to penalize Santa Maria for playing in a very early era of football, because that's, to me, the only reason why he's that low on the list. Why isn't Bobby Moore?
So you're saying
penalized?
Santa Maria is better than Bobby Moore?
No, I'm just saying that Bobby Moore should be a little lower on the list.
That's your opinion that he's penalised for what the Euro he's played in.
To me, yeah, fair enough. That might be my opinion. That's the only reason I believe Santa Maria could be penalised, because based on the record, he should be a top 5 defender of all time.
Top 2.
I feel like that's a wasted spot.
Top 2. Here we go.
What do you mean?
There's one that you guys would
What?
You guys will be surprised that it's not here, but there's an argument for it. Top 2. Franco Baresi, number 2.
Yeah, and I agree with this.
Baresi had to be on that list. I was waiting for him to pop up. I just didn't know when he would pop up.
I actually assumed he would be number 2 because of who's number 1, and I think you can't get past who number 1 is. But Baresi should be number 2. Loved watching old footage of him and breaking down how he played. Gaetano Scorea kept him out of the national team for in the 80s for like 4 years until the 86 World Cup, which is why Scorea was so highly regarded. He retired, and everyone's like, all right, well, now Baresi, you got your shot. But once he got in there, he was obviously one of the most fantastic defenders that ever played. Intelligent, graceful, very technically gifted as well, and formed one of the best partnerships, one of the best, like probably the best defensive line in Tessotti, Costacurta, Baresi, and Maldini on the left.
Played in a movie by Dustin Hoffman.
What the fuck?
You know what?
I don't see that.
I see it, bro.
All right, number 1. Who do you think it is?
Oh, it's Franz Beckenbauer.
I would say so. He hasn't made the list, of course.
Franz
He's gonna be-
Beckenbauer, number 1
Yeah.
in every list that comes up.
Yeah.
Look, he's probably top 5, not top 7 of all time as players.
I totally agree.
So,
I think he's a top 7
think-
player of all time easily.
I think he deserves the number 1 spot.
Absolutely.
I want to talk about Franz Beckenbauer, but the name that came up as missing from this list originally for me when I read it was Maldini.
Yeah, me too.
And where is Maldini? Is it because he played such part of his career as a left back that he's not considered as a centre
Funny
back?
you say that, because I was looking at statistics today for Maldini versus Van Dijk and all that sort of bullshit. The majority of Maldini's games were played at centre back,
Yeah.
not left back.
Which is why
I
this
think of
is-
Maldini. I think
yeah,
I think
yeah,
centre back.
The majority of his games were played at centre back. He did play at left back, yes, but you think of him sometimes here, sometimes there. But the majority of his games were at centre back. So
Yeah.
really,
It was that early period, that period of the the Van Basten era, the Baresi era, where he played left back.
Yeah.
But then Baresi retired by 96, 97. Maldini was a centre back. He partnered Costacurta.
Yeah.
Until the early 2000s.
a great
Costacurta
partnership,
was
that
like 100%. Costacurta was like 38 years old. What did they do? They swapped him out for Alessandro Nesta, and then that next period of dominance where AC Milan were in 3 Champions League finals in 5 years, 2 Champions League wins, and Nesta was absolutely amazing. With Maldini, and Maldini was in his mid-30s and never lost a beat.
What a transition of centre backs! How just class after class.
And then
after
of course,
class.
and
You
then of
don't
course,
see that
buddy,
now.
and then of course, in by 2005, Maldini was kicked back to the left back.
Yeah.
Where he at 38
Uh,
still excelled.
yeah.
To make way for Jacques Stam,
Yeah.
So yeah, Japstam, Nesta, Cafu, and Paolo Maldini.
Yeah. As he
But
got,
star-studded the back
you
line
would
I've
think
ever
you would
seen.
think getting older would make more sense to play at centre back, right?
Yeah.
Than to be a wing back or a left back
And-
that need to progress and come back.
Any names missing from this list? Apart from Maldini, obviously.
Mateus Summer.
Okay.
To me, there's like I made the point
There's
that
no
there was
Germans in this list. That's for sure.
Beckenbauer.
Sorry, Beckenbauer. There's no Germans in that thing.
Yeah, no, I exactly. And I made the point before that there's only been 3 defenders to have won a Ballon d'Or: Mateus Summer, Cannavaro, and Beckenbauer. So I think Summer deserves a shout on this list.
Oh, there, the only Brazilian on the list.
I don't rate.
yeah,
I don't rate Brazilian centre backs.
Yeah, that's
You know
not
my
too-
opinion on that. Brazilian centre backs and goalkeepers, I don't rate them. Same as Africans. They just don't.
What, just in general? just in general.
African centre backs and defenders.
Would
They're
you
more
have put,
flary players.
would you have put Tony Adams on this list?
Tony Adams should have made the list.
Really?
Should have made the list. Yeah, he would have made it in the 20 something.
I would have got
maybe.
rid of number 23, this Billy McNeil guy. Celtic player from the late 60s. I don't know who he is. Put Tony Adams in there.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Fair enough. Yeah, I think, but I think Maldini and Sama are definitely should be on this list as well. A few things I think are a little high, a little low. I think Passarella would have been nice to see him a little higher. Scuderia I thought was a little slightly too high.
Do you know what's going to happen? When I stop recording, press stop, and all his names
Yeah,
going to start popping
yeah.
up.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, we should have said
100%.
this, we should
Yeah.
have said that. But if you guys have any names that we've missed out on or they're not on the list, write them down in the comments.
Nemanja Vidic?
We got 13 in there. You have to pick one.
That's it's not a United thing. Like you could
No,
pick
I'm
one.
just saying, like, you know.
No, I'm saying to him because
Yeah,
he's saying
yeah.
Fernand's
Yeah.
already in there, but it's not a United fucking.
I feel like you pick one or the other.
What? How does that work? Johnny,
All right.
how
Any
the
last
fuck does that
things
work?
before you go?
Roberto Ayala.
What about fucking? What about Marquez? Mexico.
Rafa Marquez.
Leader. He was fucking big for Mexico. Played till how old was he? Fucking playing for Mexico. Wasn't he oldest player in the World Cup?
Yeah, he was a leader, definitely. I don't think he's top 25 of all time, but
All right. So looking at that list, and you have maybe possibly Tony Adams, possibly a couple of other players I just mentioned. You have some of these. You don't see a room at all there for Van Dijk.
I think what Fatty said is let's wait till his career's over and then we'll judge him.
Okay,
it's-
that's
I
a
think
that's a
it's-
sit on the fence answer, Fatty.
No, I think it's too early to make him there. I personally would not put him in there.
So right now, no.
No, right now, no.
But
He's not on
before
form.
before
But
the
then-
names
but
that we
then
mentioned,
you're gonna say it's unfair to judge him on current form, but then that's the basis of not judging him because he's still currently playing.
overall speaking, the 25 on the list is PK. Van Dijk or PK? Who's the better player?
PK.
There you go. You've answered the question.
That means that you agree with this list whole.
No, I don't agree at all. But all right, any last words before we go?
Well, we're going already.
It's time to go.
Van Dijk's overrated.
Let's finish on that. That should be the heading of the episode. Van Dijk is overrated.
And suck shit, Liverpool.
See you next time.